This video shows people in Ivory Coast blocking a major highway last month to protest the re-election of the country's president. Then sometime after the video ends, shots are fired. This was the aftermath of what was supposed to be a peaceful protest, victims lying motionless on the pavement. Witnesses told Human Rights Watch that there were 3 people killed after Ivorian security forces opened fire. The government says investigations are underway, but President Alassane Ouattara, who spoke exclusively to CNN, has made up his mind.
No, this is a lie. I had given strict instruction to the defense forces not to use fire, guns, and no one shot among the defense forces.
It's clearly premature at this point to call that research a lie.
The shooting capped off a string of pre- and post-election protests and violence. 85 people have been killed on both sides, hundreds more injured, and more than 15,000 fled the country, fearing a return to the civil war violence that brought President Ouattara to power almost a decade ago. Opposition supporters say he should not have been allowed to run for a 3rd term, since the Constitution limits presidents to just 2.
It's a decision I'm glad I took today, because the country would have been in a mess if I had not been a candidate.
Do you understand why some of your opponents and a lot of people in your country were upset by your decision?
No, I think they just know they could not win. If they want to grab power without election, they're not Democrats.
While the Ivorian Supreme Court allowed the president to run, the Electoral Commission barred 40 others from challenging him.
Does that sound like democracy to you?
Let me tell you, democracy does not mean that anyone should come and run. We have very young countries, very fragile countries. Candidates should be able to say what they're going to do for the people and for the country.
Those candidates who were allowed to run boycotted the election before the vote, and afterwards set up a parallel government to organize a new poll. One exiled candidate went even further.
Mr. Wataara is a con artist and a liar, and he is behaving like a culprit, and a culprit should be jailed.
But it was one of Ouattara's main rivals who was jailed. Another was put under house arrest.
Suppose that Donald Trump decided to form a government because Biden has won the election. He would be sent to jail right away. And this is what we're doing in Cote d'Ivoire.
Election observers from the American Carter Center found serious concerns about restrictions on civil liberties, freedom of expression, and the right to vote and be elected, which threatened to undo democratic progress. But it seems the rest of the world is unwilling to make a fuss, not even France, which has strong ties to its former colony.
With a relatively recent instance of civil war in only 2010 and 11 in the country, and before the election there being a real possibility of returning to that, I think it was kind of seen as better to just accept what is and what people know.
Democracy has been sacrificed in the name of stability.
I think it's fair to say that, yes.
For now, at least, there's peace in Ivory Coast, though the real war may be with democracy itself. Scott McLean, CNN, London.